Hey, what's going on everyone? Kurt Singh here with a Retro Cup video for the Great League. Got Shiny Defense Deoxys, Shiny Lickitung, and Aurorus. This is a great team for gaining elo. I've gone 4-1, 3-2, and then 4-1 with it again. So I'm going to showcase the 4-1 and 3-2 set. So I've got Defense Deoxys into Lantern. I take the Thunderbolt there, and I'm going to throw another Rock Slide. This team works out really well because you can use Lickitung as your safe swap, and it lures out fighters and things that are going to be hard for Aurorus to handle. And if you can get Aurorus in the back with a shield advantage, it's insane the damage that it does. It can one-shot so many different things, and with ice and rock coverage, it does really good against your flyers, grass, electric types, but just all around it destroys so many of the different Pokemon. And it actually is surprisingly bulky. It can take Shadow Balls and stuff like that without even taking half health or half the damage. So you got Body Slam going into the Venusaur. They shield that up. They do manage to farm me down. So here I'm going to respect the Frenzy Plant. That would do a lot of damage. So I'm going to shield that. And then I switch and catch the next Frenzy Plant on my Deoxys. So they take out the Deoxys, and here they've got, I think their only play here is to call my bait, and I one-shot them. So now they still have 2 Pokemon and a shield. I'm down to my last, but I've got my attack boost, so they bring in Venusaur and it disappears. And then Lantern comes in and I farm down. So a good game to my opponent. I think that was their win con, was to call my bait there. I didn't bait, won the game. So they switch into Snorlax. I'm taking super effective damage from the licks, and I'm doing super effective damage with the counters. The bonus for me is that their charge attacks aren't going to hit me super effectively. So I can stay in and take the lick damage, throw some rock slides. I do get a shield. I'm at another rock slide. And I'll throw this one, get some very deep into the red. And at this point, I do decide to shield because I can farm down here. And now we're even on shields. I've got a little bit of energy, and they bring in a Dragonite, and I can't quite get to a rock slide. They take me out. So now I can safely bring in my Aurorus. I do have to respect a superpower. It is the superpower. And then they switch out into Hypno. So I'm going to bank my energy and go into Lickitung. So far, in any of the battles I've done, I have not run into a Hypno running Focus Blast. So it's a pretty safe matchup here just to let the move go. Shadow Ball is going to do almost nothing. And then the other moves are going to be punches. So you're pretty safe here. You can lick down, and the licks actually add up, do a lot of damage. So they throw another Thunder Punch. I'm able to farm down. I do throw a Body Slam here, and they shield it. So that's ideal for me because now I can't quite get to another Body Slam, but now I have a Weather Ball, and I can throw that, and that'll be a good game. I wasn't sure if I would beat them to a move or if I would win CMP. I'm not 100% sure, but I do get that one off. So now Deoxys into Drifbloom. This is kind of a mixed up matchup because their hexes are doing super effective and they can get to a Shadow Ball, but I let the first one go through. I felt like it was a little bit too quick for Shadow Ball, so they go for, or I go for a Rock Slide here. And here I'm farming up. They're gonna get to a move. I'm gonna let it go. Icy Wind. Now I go for a Body Slam. I brought in Lickitung basically just to take energy and or to try to get them to switch out into something that I don't want Aurorus to see. So they're just throwing debuff after debuff at me. So I'm gonna throw another Icy Wind here, I think. And I throw another Body Slam. This should take them out. Doesn't quite take them out. I've been debuffed 3 times, I think. So now I do have some energy, and they bring in a Swampert. So I think it's a Swampert. So I go for the Power Whip. And that, even the triple debuff, that does huge damage to the Shadow Swampert. So I bring in my Deoxys, throw the Psycho Boost, and they switch into a Victory Belt, and I'm able to get to another Psycho Boost. So that still does a huge chunk to the Victory Belt, and then in the back I've got the Aurorus. I'm able to farm down before they farm me down, and then throw a Weather Ball at the Swampert. And that's a good game. Well played to my opponent. Into the next match here. Deoxys into Walrein. Really good matchup for me. Counters do super effective. Rock Slides also do super effective, and nothing that the Walrein's going to throw is going to be all that effective against me. Your Icicle Sphere and Earthquake, I can for sure take a couple Icicle Spheres, and I can live a Earthquake, no problem. So there, 1 Rock Slide and some counters, and it's almost dead. So I let this next one go through, finish farming down, and they've got a Whiscash in the back. So I throw a Rock Slide. This isn't going to do much, but get a little bit of chip damage here. And then I do decide to switch out into my Lickitung. They have a Abomasnow in the back, so it makes sense why they weren't bringing that into my Deoxys. So I throw the Body Slam. They're farming up here. Again, I'm not going to shield anything. Weather Ball, Energy Ball, doesn't matter. It's not going to do a huge amount. I can live a couple, or at least 1, and the Powder Snows and stuff like that of the Energy Ball if that's the way they go. So here, I'm almost out of Body Slam, so I decide to shield, because now I'll either take out the Abomasnow or get their last shield, and I overtap a little bit, but they just get to a Weather Ball. So they don't quite take me out, so I switch into my Deoxys. They counter with their Whiscash, throw a Mud Bomb. So I bring in an Aurorus here to start getting some energy. I think I let the first Mud Bomb go. It does about half health, maybe a little bit more. So now I have a Meteor Beam. So I'm going to throw that, gets their shield. My attack gets boosted now, so I'll shield up this Mud Bomb. And then I'm almost at a Weather Ball, so I throw that, and this should just about take it out. If not, it will. Yeah, there it goes. And then they bring back in Abomasnow, and obviously I have no shield, so they will not quite take me out. I thought they would take me out, and I have the Lickitung with like a sliver of health, so I win that game. Good game to my opponent. Altaria lead into Deoxys. It's not a bad lead. Works out well for me. They switch into their Drifloon, so I counter with Aurorus. Normally I do Lickitung as my safe switch, but here I just simply figured I could do well if I switch into Aurorus. So I get their first shield, and then I'm going to go for a Weather Ball here. Gets their second shield. And I think these were earlier on matches, and I wasn't 100% sure how tanky Aurorus was. So I did shield up the Shadow Ball there. And then they get another Shadow Ball, and it almost takes me out. And then 1 more Hex, and I'm done. So here I bring in Deoxys again, and I want to throw before I get debuffed, because I could have farmed up a little bit more and then thrown, but if they throw an Icy Wind, then I'm locked in and I'm debuffed, and I want to be able to hit this Altaria here with really good Rock Slides. So that does about half health, and then I decide to go into my Lickitung just so that they don't, they're not able to take out my Deoxys. But having the Vigoroth in the back is not looking good for me because they're doing super effective against my Lickitung. And the body slams are starting to add up as well. So this is not looking like a good game for me. I think this is probably the one that I lost in the 4-1 set. So then I come in, and I would be doing super effective with the counters, but they've got a Bulldoze loaded. Almost takes me out. Now my only win con here is to farm down and throw a Rock Slide, and I don't have one. I think I was one counter away, and they throw the Sky Attack, take me out. So that's a good game to my opponent. So there you can see that it was a 4-1 set. We'll jump into the next battle, or the next set. All in all, this is a very fun team. Aurorus is a lot of fun to almost one-shot or do one-shot people with the Meteor Beam is quite fun. And the amount of people that I would say called my bait, thinking it was just a Weather Ball, and got blasted with the Meteor Beam, that was a lot of fun. So I highly recommend either this team in general or a combination of these Pokemon. I've been mostly playing with the Deoxys and Aurorus core. I've been switching out like the Lickitung. I've got another video that I'm going to be making that I've switched it with Kingdra, and then I'm playing around to see with how it works with Toxicroak, or not Toxicroak, Toxapex. So I'll have some more content coming here over the weekend probably. So I've got Noctowl into Lickitung. Take a Sky Attack. Doesn't quite take me out, so I get to another Body Slam. And doesn't quite take out the Noctowl, but now the Noctowl is quite low, so I bring in Deoxys again. They could have a Shadow Ball, but it's just a Sky Attack, so I'm glad that I didn't shield there. Now they bring the Froslass in. I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide. This is super effective. Does get their last shield. Now they're at another move. I think I'm too far away from my Rock Slide to bother shielding, so I just let it go. And now I have Aurorus and one shield. So I'm gonna shield up the Shadow Ball. And then in the back they've got a Medicham. So it's just tearing through me with the counters. Go for the Meteor Beam, but fighting resists rock. So this is my loss in the... Oh no, sorry, I lost 2 in this one. So that was the first one. Kind of went back to back with losses there. The last one of the first set that I did, and then this one. So then I got a Medicham lead. They switched into Noctowl. Go for Rock Slides here. With this team as well, or yeah, mostly this team, I think I gained about 200 elo with it before I started like playing around with the safe swap with Lickitung. Because as you can see in a couple of these battles, like the ones that I lose and stuff like that, if you get locked in where you don't quite manage it quite right, like your Lickitung and Aurorus are weak to a Medicham, and Deoxys has a hard time beating it as well. So there are a few hardish counters or things that make it really difficult to beat opponents depending on how it lines up. But all in all, great team, gained a lot of ELO with it. I'm really enjoying, like I said, the Aurorus and the Deoxys. They're a lot of fun to play with. So I go for another Rock Slide there. Does huge damage to the Froslass. Now I bring in my Lickitung. The Licks are doing super effective against the Ghost typing. Take an Avalanche, and I think that I want to just no shield this and farm down, and then I'll have a move, but they won't get a lot of energy off of my Medicham, and they throw right away, so I think I decide just to let this go. You know, I shield it up, it's just a power up punch, but then I go for a Body Slam. Why did I shield that? Because I had the move, and then I was able to get their shield, and then I can come in with Deoxys, and I should be able to live whatever move this is. It's a Psychic, boosted Psychic as well, and I live that, and then I get back-to-back Psycho Boosts. I wasn't 100% sure with the Psycho Boost how much damage it'll do. I have in a later battle, I have determined that it'll do a little more than a quarter health. So it does a fair amount. If you're in a tight situation there, I was deliberately farming up to 2 because I didn't want to throw and then get farmed down while I was trying to get to another one. But I think it would have taken it out much, much sooner. So here I've got Lickitung into Jellicent. They go for a Surf. And then they're going to switch out into Nidoqueen. So this is good for me, because they're going to throw Poison Fang. And I can chip them a little bit with my Body Slam. And what was their lead Pokemon? Jellicent. So I don't want Aurorus to see Jellicent. So this works out well for me. And Jellicent is actually also effective against Deoxys because I think they're using Hex and they have Shadow Ball. So this gives me the opportunity to come in with Deoxys. And I think I throw, I think I use the Psycho Boost. And then I'm able to switch into my Aurorus and take care of the Jellicent with Shield advantage, I think is what I do here. So I take a Poison Fang. They bring in a Hypno, so I throw the Psycho Boost. And you can see there it doesn't do much, but they switched, right? So now they're locked in, so now I bring in Aurorus to start getting energy. I do shield up a Fire Punch. I wouldn't do a huge amount because of the rock typing, right? Like it's super effective against the ice type and neutral against the fire, or not effective at all. They let the Meteor Beam go through and it destroys the Hypno. So now they bring in Jellicent. I'm gonna respect the Surf, as it would do a huge chunk. And now I go for a Weather Ball. It is boosted. So go for the boosted Weather Ball, they shield that. And now I think I switch into my Deoxys to catch the Shadow Ball. And I think that was my win condition, was switching. That was my only win condition, is to catch that move. Throw the Meteor Beam, that takes out the Jellicent. And then I'm able to farm down the Nidoqueen. So a bit of a tricky battle there, but I was able to pull through and get the win. So now Deoxys into Superior. I actually ran into several of these, and they're quite tricky actually because they're very bulky. Rock Slides don't hurt them much. Psycho Boost don't hurt them much. Frenzy Plant will take about half health off of almost any Pokemon. So you need to be careful, right? Like I can't take 2 of them. So I take the one, throw a Rock Slide. They're down to about half health here. I tried the Psycho Boost, but they do get the move, so I decided to shield. And it's just a Leaf Tornado. So throw the Psycho Boost, and then I'll switch. I do believe I'll switch into my Aurorus to farm them down with the Powder Snows. So I got them low enough that I was able to kind of, not quite snipe, because sniping would be one move kind of thing, but I was able to get them before they got to another move. And now watch this. Oh, they shield, they blocked it, that's right. So they block the first one, so they're gonna throw a Drill Run. I actually was quite surprised by I've faced a couple Dewongs with Drill Run, and I was rather shocked because I'm used to, look at that, boom, one shot pretty much. I was used to, like all of them have Icy Wind, but then most of them have Water Pulse or something like that, and not the Drill Run. But it makes sense with Aurorus running around, so that even though the water move would do effective damage as well, so I was surprised. But I think I faced 2 so far, or maybe 3, and all of them have had Drill Run. So Deoxys into Charizard. I'm gonna shield this up. I think it's just a Dragon Claw, yeah it is. But I get to the Rock Slide, but I overtapped, or I was locked in the animation. I did one too many counters, so that's unfortunate. I lose my energy there. Bring in Lickitung, and they're going to get to another move here and take me out. So that's going to be the second loss in this 3-2 set. Good game to my opponent, well played. Very, very close. I was like one more lick away from having my Body Slam, and then that would have taken out the Charizard. So now I got Deoxys into Lickitung. Both of us doing super effective to each other. again, kind of like the Snorlax, it's a little bit of a okay matchup for me because their moves aren't super effective against me. Mine aren't super effective against them either, but they do hit hard enough that the counter damage adds up. We're both pretty tanky, and here it's exactly mirrored. My Lickitung into their Deoxys. So I'm gonna go for a Power Whip. They do decide to commit the last shield. So now I am happy just farming down. Again, I know that nothing they have is gonna hit me super, super hard. They do have Thunderbolt, so that's good. I've been playing around with, should I do the Thunderbolt instead of the Rock Slide for Pure Waters? It would give me a little bit better coverage, I think. And it would still be effective against the Flyers. The reason I'm doing Rock is because Froslass is super, super common, and I think that's maybe the only one that I'd really need to worry about, but it really helps me with Froslass, right? So there you can see a Meteor Beam destroys the Lickitung, and now they just gave up. So that was a 3-2 set. So that'll be it for the video. I think I show you guys that. And yeah, I gained over 100 elo in these 2 sets. And I've been positive this whole Retro Cup. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Aim to make 1, maybe 2 more over the weekend to see how busy I am. Good luck tomorrow in Squirtle Comp Day. See you guys.